I know that children can be a headache to their parents, but when you hear about the story of how Athena became the goddess of wisdom and strategy, you'd find that she took that to a different level. Who were her parents? What were the strange circumstances of her birth? What made her the best person to assume this role? Come join us as we learn about how Athena was born to be the goddess of wisdom. Following the defeat of Cronus, his child-swallowing father and master of the universe, Zeus and his brothers took dominion of the earth and the underworld. While he basked in his glory, Zeus soon came across a beautiful goddess known as Metis. Despite Metis being the daughter of Oceanus, one of the titans that helped Zeus and his brothers conquer his domineering father, during the Titanomachy, Zeus couldn't keep his eyes off his friend's daughter. Filled with lust, he decided that he must have Metis for himself. This decision would come with some difficulty for Zeus, because Metis didn't have similar feelings for Zeus. As a result, Metis did her best to escape the grasp of Zeus, even going as far as using her power of metamorphosis in her attempt to flee from him. Unfortunately for her, the persistent god would not take no for an answer. Although she transformed into many different animals in her bid to escape from Zeus, she couldn't help but be overcome by the might of Zeus. Once he took her for himself, she agreed to become his wife. Interestingly enough, the marriage to Metis led to a period of stability for Zeus. With Metis by his side, Zeus was able to overcome many challenges that were plaguing the heavenly and the earthly realms since the primordial times. However, this period of stability would soon come to an end because after a visit to Gaia, the primordial goddess and Zeus' mother, Zeus would learn that his time with his queen might be cursed. Upon paying a visit to Gaia, Zeus would learn of a harrowing prophecy. Gaia informed him that their union will produce 2 children, a girl who would match the strength and wisdom of her father. As amazing as that may sound, Zeus was then told that his union with Metis would also produce a son that would become stronger and more powerful than Zeus could ever imagine. Indeed, he was told point blank that this almighty son would topple Zeus from his throne, just like he did to his father, and indeed, just like his father did to his own father. After hearing that his lineage of patricide is set to continue with him and his own son by Metis, Zeus was understandably very troubled by this distressing omen. What was he going to do about this? Well, the troubled ruler of the gods soon found himself before his wife. Unfortunately for her, she was unaware of what Zeus was going to do about her and her unborn usurper of a son. She must have chuckled a little when Zeus asked her to turn into a drop of water. Then she must have been alarmed when her husband swallowed her immediately after she granted his request. If Zeus was pained by his decision, we are unsure. All we can say is that to him, his problems were over. In fact, Zeus's decision to swallow his wife initially seemed like a good idea. As soon as he ingested the unassuming bride, he received her powers and some of her personality, which made him wiser and more stable. What he didn't know was that he also absorbed her pregnancy. Before long, Zeus was overcome with the mother of all migraines. He struggled for a while as his head began to throb with the most painful headaches, while his head began to distort in shape. Unable to manage this pain any longer, he begged his fellow gods for the help needed to overcome this massive headache. Some say that it was Prometheus that stepped forward to help Zeus with this headache by splitting his head open with an axe. Others claim it was Hephaestus. Whoever it was somehow thought the solution was to split Zeus's head with an axe. Even more bizarrely, this worked. Once his head was split open, a full-grown Athena, who was dressed in battle armor and weapons in her hands, sprung out. The splitting pain gave way to overwhelming pride as Zeus began to adore the goddess standing before him. Not only was she wise beyond her years, she was also as powerful and as formidable as they come. Little wonder she became the goddess of defensive warfare and weaponry. Before long, Athena became the pride of the king of the gods, as many in the heavens and on earth looked up to her because of her wisdom. Indeed, she was even considered to be Zeus's legitimate successor, especially as her all-conquering brother was never born. Such was the mighty and spectacular circumstances of one of the most powerful gods in the Greek pantheon.